Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Hillsborough, UUCH. We continually seek to be an open-hearted and welcoming community for all who are looking for connection, meaning, and support. Our worship does not follow a single fixed form, nor do we ask one another to share the same creed or set of beliefs. Instead, we are a covenantal community, bound by our promise to care for one another as we each pursue our own lifelong search for truth and meaning in matters of faith. Welcome to each of you, familiar faces and first-time visitors alike. Your presence today matters. Whether this is your very first Sunday with us or one of many, we are enriched by your being here. We are a community of many beliefs, backgrounds, sexual orientations, and gender identities. Together we are learning, growing, and becoming, and each of us is held in love. Just as you are, you belong here. Now please turn to those around you and greet them with a joyful and generous good morning. Good morning. My name is Jenny Kiles, and I am serving as the worship coordinator for today's service. As a lay-led congregation, our worship is made possible by the dedication of many people, both seen and unseen. We extend our heartfelt thanks to everyone who contributes their time and talents to make this a meaningful place to gather, to learn, to grow in spirit, and to nurture love and community together. This morning, we welcome back Reverend Holly Lux Sullivan, whom I will introduce before her homily. Now, before we begin our time of worship, please take a moment to review your order of service, where you'll find announcements printed on the back. We'll pause briefly to share any additional announcements not already listed. And finally, please take a moment now to ensure that your cell phone is turned off or set to silent, what we affectionately call worship mode.
And welcome to July Disability Pride Month, and we have just installed our automatic door openers on the front door. So, if you would like lessons on how to turn them on and off, I'm happy to let you know. If you're part of like opening or closing the building, then you want to know how to turn them off and when you leave and stuff like that. Also, I just want to let you know that when you push the button, it takes 4 seconds before the doors open. So if you push it and it doesn't open right away, don't be like, oh, this is broken. Just wait a couple more seconds. It takes 4 seconds from when you push the button, and then the doors stay open for 10 seconds. And so I'm happy to teach you more about the doors, because I was here when they installed them, so I got the lessons, so I'll pass it on to you.
Thank you.
Do you want to talk about? And also on the topic of Disability Pride Month, on Friday this week we will be hosting our Justice Movie Night. Will be the film Crip Camp, which is about disability advocates who started off at a summer camp for teenagers with disabilities and went on to become advocates for 504 and ADA, and it's about their story. So that will be on Friday at 7 p.m. here.
Hi, I'm Jenny. I just want to let you all know that the Justice team is working on us becoming a green sanctuary congregation, which focuses on taking actions for climate justice. The program used to be really involved, and UUA has revised it so that it's more obtainable for small congregations. So we're very excited. We're just getting started, but we'll keep you updated as we go.
Yeah, one more for Justice. So if you'd like to know more about anything that Justice is happening and what's happening with our community partners, today we're going to be doing our first Justice tabling event. So the plan is that after the Justice meeting, the first Sunday following, We're going to set up a table during coffee hour in that corner around where AC is sitting, and we're going to have a board up, and you can come and ask us questions, and we can give you handouts and all that sort of stuff. So you're plugged into what we're doing. So you can expect to see that today.
Yeah.
Let's prepare ourselves for our time of reflection and celebration by reminding ourselves of who we are and why we gather. We are Unitarian Universalists. Unitarian Universalism draws from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. And our chalice lighter this morning is Jacob.
From our very first breath, we reach out. Co-regulation, not self-regulation, is in our nature. We find our cues from the sun and the moon, from each parent and caregiver. We find our place in this great turning planet by turning to one another, generation to generation. We awaken to the dawn and fall asleep at the evening's end. Our life's journey is part of something greater, something simple, something divine. A flame cannot be lit without a spark. A life cannot begin without the air. And we cannot begin to find ourselves without love. May we reach out to one another. May we offer love and nurturing care. May we join together in celebration of the interdependence of our lives. In this spirit, we worship together. Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in our opening hymn, For All That Is Our Life.
Sharing joys and sorrows is a cherished ritual in our Sunday services. This practice unfolds in two parts. First, we make space for spoken sharing, and then we move into a time of quiet reflection, holding in silence the concerns, joys, milestones, or griefs that have arisen since we last gathered. In both moments, we place stones in the vase on the altar, symbolizing our collective holding of one another's experiences. By sharing in this way, we deepen our connection as a community. We begin with spoken sharing. What is shared aloud is not recorded, so those joining us online will notice a brief pause while people in the sanctuary speak. If you are participating online and would like to share a joy or a concern with those gathered here, please place it in the chat and indicate whether you would like it read aloud. A stone will be placed in the vase on your behalf. If you hold their joys and sorrows in silence, you are invited to come forward and place a stone in the vase quietly while Aviva plays Spirit of Life. After she plays through the piece once, we will join together in singing this meditative song. We hold all these things within the heart of this community, both spoken and unspoken, by remaining silent for a moment as we consider what has been shared and how we might respond. Let us close our sharing time by saying together, Amen and blessed be. Amen and blessed be. Now I'd like to ask our RE teacher to tell us what the kids will be up to in RE today. Then we will bless our RE classes on their way by singing.
We are having free play today.
Free play! Each Sunday, we receive a monetary offering to support meaningful and deserving causes. For the month of July, our plate offering will go to support the Eno River Association. Established in 1966, the Eno River Association is an accredited land trust and conservation nonprofit driven by a mission to conserve and protect the natural, historical, and cultural resources of the Eno River Basin. With that in mind, we invite you to give generously.
Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Oh yes, I know. 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 Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Oh yes, I know. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Oh yes, I know.
Please join me in offering a blessing for the offertory. For the love that surrounds us every morning, for the friends beside us, and for the generous gifts just received, let us be truly grateful. Now we'll have a reading, which will be a call and response. So the words in bold and italics are what you say, and then the other parts are what I say. So you guys start. Such has been the patient sufferance. We're a mother's bread, instant potatoes, milk at a checkout line. We're her 3 children pleading for bubblegum and their father. We're the 3 minutes she steals to page through a tabloid, needing to believe even stars' lives are as joyful and bruised.
Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury.
We're her second job, serving an executive absorbed in his Wall Street Journal at a sidewalk cafe shadowed by skyscrapers. We're the shadows of the fortune he won and the family he lost. We're his loss and the lost. We're a father in a coal town who can't mine a life anymore because too much and too little has happened for too long.
A history of repeated injuries and usurpations.
We're the grit of his main street's blacked out windows and graffitied truths. We're a street in another town lined with royal palms, at home with a Peace Corps couple who collect African art. We're their dinner party talk of wines, wielded picket signs, and burned draft cards. We're what they know. It's time to do more than read the New York Times, buy fair trade coffee and organic corn.
In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress.
We're the farmer who grew the corn, who plows into his couch as worn as his back by the end of the day. We're his TV set, blaring news having everything and nothing to do with the field dust in his eyes or his son nested in the ache of his arms. We're his son. We're a black teenager who drove too fast or too slow, talked too much or too little, moved too quickly but not quick enough. We're the blast of the bullet leaving the gun. We're the guilt and the grief of the cop who wished he hadn't shot.
We mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
We're the dead, we're the living, amid the flicker of vigil candlelight. We're in a dim cell with an inmate reading Dostoevsky. We're his crime, his sentence, his amends. We're the mending of ourselves and others. We're a Buddhist, excuse me. We're a Buddhist serving soup at a shelter alongside a stockbroker. We're each other's shelter and hope. A widow's 50 cents in a collection plate and a golfer's $10,000 pledge for a cure.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
We're the cure for hatred caused by despair. We're the good morning of a bus driver who remembers our name, the tattooed man who gives up his seat on the subway. where every door held open with a smile when we look into each other's eyes the way we behold the moon. We're the moon, we're the promise of one people, one breath declaring to one another, I see you, I need you, I am you. I apologize, I've got a frog in my throat. Excuse me. Okay, our speaker today is Reverend Holly Lux Sullivan. She is an ordained UU minister and has served for years as a hospital chaplain in Alamance County. Now she is the founder of Heartwood Death Doula and Bereavement Care and is passionate about honoring life by accepting death's inevitability with education, humor, and care. Reverend Holly lives in Mebane with her spouse and their 2 rescued greyhounds. Thank you, Reverend Holly, for joining us this morning.
The other night, as I drove home from Greensboro on I-40, a large SUV flew past me. I was going about 70, but this car was moving so fast that by the time I saw it, way too close to my driver's side quarter panel, it was safely passed. My hand automatically did that impotent honk anyway, the car's taillights already almost out of sight. If that driver had been moving more slowly or had veered just a bit more into my lane, they would have hit me. I shuddered to think about what our vehicles colliding at more than 70 miles an hour would have done. Though for many of us, driving is, or at least has been, an everyday occurrence, it's also a profound, if unwitting, statement of trust in our fellow people. It's the social contract we sign on to when we become drivers. We agree to do our best to drive safely. And every time we drive, we depend on those around us to do the same. We trust each other to drive mostly sanely. In this way and countless others, we depend on our fellow Americans and everyone else who lives and drives here to care for us as we care for them. Beginning with the lost island of Roanoke in the late 1500s, British colonists came to what would become the United States to help the British Empire rival other global powers by extracting natural resources from the land. As we know, in 1776, the colonies declared their independence from Britain in favor of greater political choice, economic freedom, and religious freedom. As we all learned in elementary school, a foundational document of our country is the Declaration of Independence. Though that document was about the colonies declaring their sovereignty from Great Britain, the United States has, in the last 250 years, become a country obsessed with individualism and the idea of our own exceptionalism. Nobody loves believing we can pull ourselves up by our bootstraps like an American. And yet, all across the country this weekend, people gathered with family and friends for barbecues and cookouts. We blast music, argue with family and friends in joking, jovial ways. We set off firecrackers, terrorizing dogs and inspiring ne'er-do-wells all over. We brave intense heat to crank up grills and get into pools. We drink, we dance, we play games, and generally take advantage of having a 3-day weekend with the people we enjoy being with the most. Last night, professional fireworks shows filled parks and stadiums, while songs like God Bless the USA, Party in the USA, and of course, This Land is Your Land played at top volume. Let us relish the delicious paradox of a nation's people celebrating their independence from another country by coming together in yards and parks and concert halls and stadiums. We know that the US is not really a country of rugged individuals, but like all countries, one of communities, practically every one of which is hosting events this weekend to honor the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The city of Hillsborough knows what's up. The theme of its celebration yesterday, in case you missed it, was Together We Are America, celebrating community, culture, and history. Religion and spirituality, of course, are a crucial part of our community and culture. As such, the U.S. Department of Defense has long maintained a list of religions that our service members can officially identify as in their personnel records. Beginning in the 1990s, service members could choose from 200 religious designations. Last month, the DoD updated that list. With that update, service members can now choose from 31 designations, 22 of which are Christian denominations. Today, Unitarian Universalist is not on that list, nor are Wicca, paganism, humanism, or atheism. If you are part of a tradition, United Church of Christ is not. If you are part of a tradition that's been eliminated, you must now identify in your personnel record as no religion or other religions. In this way, Unitarian Universalism is officially an other to the United States Department of Defense. Many of us will be angered by this new reality. How dare the DoD deny our people their proper designation? Others may revel in it. The Department of Defense has effectively disavowed us, so we must be doing something right. Still others will shrug. We know who we are and what we stand for. In 2024, we adopted shared values of equity, justice, transformation, interdependence, generosity, pluralism, and at the center of all of these, the bedrock upon which we try to build our lives and religious communities, love. Of course, institutional power wants to pretend we don't exist. Institutional power is often rooted in oppression and maintaining the status quo for those with resources and power. Unitarian Universalist values rebuke that way of being in the world. Our values say love is central. We know that we flourish when we connect, when we unite, when we collaborate. Our values recognize we don't have to agree on everything, that's the pluralism, as well as the reality that we might change each other in significant ways. That's the transformation. We put love at the center of who we are and all we do because we know the power that love holds. We know that love can outlast fear and hatred, even death. Love feeds ice chips to a dying friend. Love delivers food to exhausted parents after a baby's birth. Love sings at the top of its lungs when maybe it wants to scream. In a cultural moment when it feels to me like we hear words like polarization and divisiveness more than ever, I remind us of the poem Outwitted by American poet Edwin Markham. Outwitted goes like this. He drew a circle that shut me out. Heretic, a rebel, a thing to flout. But love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle that took him in. We outwit hate by finding something to love in the other person. I'll offer a simple, downright elementary exercise to help us find ways to connect with others. So, raise your hand if you love cats or dogs. Enjoy going to the movies. Have kids? Have grandkids? Enjoy making or looking at art? Play or watch sports? Yeah. See how easy this is? There are a million simple ways into a conversation that point out the things we have in common rather than the things that keep us apart. In recent years, fearmongers have focused on the supposed dangers to children posed by drag queen story hours and trans people. passing legislation banning drag shows in some circumstances, and stopping gender-affirming care for minors. Time and again, in response to these actions, what we've seen is drag queens and trans people respond almost exclusively by saying, hey, you may not want me here, but I recognize your right to exist. All I ask is that you recognize mine too. Trans people are living their lives as we all are. Drag queens aren't out converting people. They want the attention for themselves. They're expressing themselves. They're entertaining us. They're creating community. And almost universally, members of those two communities respond to vitriol and hatred with gentle care and invitation. Come to a show. See who we really are and what we really do. That was kind of the whole point of the HBO series We're Here, which followed 3 drag performers as they mentored young queer people in small towns across the US. In every small town, the person they mentored was making a life for themselves despite having very little community support. And in every town, the queens confronted people who, at best, looked askance at them, and at worst, mounted Facebook campaigns against the planned drag show. And every time, the show goes on as planned, and the person who has been mentored discovers new confidence and new community. Sometimes that person's family member or friend who has been struggling to be supportive has had a change of heart, thanks to the experience of seeing them grow in confidence and being their authentic selves. Change takes time, often undetected until long after the change is complete. And there have always been people whose work it is to connect across differences, to welcome in the other, and strive to find common ground. The commercial fisherman who spends his life on the water loves the sea, just as does the eco-warrior who wants to end commercial fishing altogether. They may approach the issue of the health of our waters differently, but they share a love of the water that might be a basis for the beginning of understanding. The key, social scientist and author Brené Brown says, is connection. She defines connection as the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, and when they derive sustenance and strength from the relationship. Some of you may be the kind of people who do the crucial work of connecting with those who believe very differently than you do. You're able to tolerate the inherent tensions with calm and equanimity because you recognize the ways in which people are all the same. Others of us are less capable of doing that work. We simply don't have the temperament, the patience. This is why I knew not to be a congregational minister. For me to be patient and compassionate, and this is, by the way, not a point of pride, this is clearly a character flaw, okay? For me to be fully as patient and compassionate as I can be, you need to be seriously ill or grieving someone you love. If you are sick or grieving and you're being a jerk, I'm okay with that. Of course you are. You're struggling. If it's a Wednesday and you're griping about bulletin boards, my river of compassion runs dry instantly. And that's true for folks within a UU context, right? So imagine how badly I would react to somebody outside of our values. This is as it should be, though. There's always work to do with those we already identify with and recognize our connection to. That's why the UUA and UU congregations have undertaken work just in the last 30 years to become welcoming congregations, green sanctuaries, and dismantle structural systems of white supremacy, racism, and oppression within our association and our congregations. The Church of the Larger Fellowship, the UUA's Church Without Walls, is studying abolition, the dismantling of the prison industrial complex, and changing how we work toward restoration and justice. All of this work is about including more people and, thanks to the UU Animal Ministry, more creatures in the circles we draw. Whether we excel at seeing the humanity in people like ourselves or in those who are more different, there is connecting to do. What does this for us is simple, and the Indigo Girls song Power of Two expresses it perfectly. They sing, "The closer I'm bound in love to you, the closer I am to free." We bind ourselves to each other, and in so doing, we free ourselves. This freedom stems from our invisible tethers to each other. By knowing ourselves held by others' love, we are free to soar. The connections we have with those we love are that energy that Brené Brown talks about. I think of them as invisible threads weaving us together across distance and circumstance. They stretch as far as they need to when the people we love are far away, but they don't break. They're made sturdier and thicker when we reach out or spend time together. When we don't properly tend our relationships, the strands become thin. But no matter what, the tethers will not break. Call to mind, if you will, a relationship you have had that ended, whether it was a romantic relationship or with a family member or a fellow member of the congregation. You may not talk to that person anymore. You may have had to decide for your own sake that ending the relationship was the way to go. Yet you remain connected. Your memories remain. Maybe hurt remains. With luck, happy moments do too. Whatever the case, your lives are still intertwined for better or for worse. In N.K. Jemison's novel, The Stone Sky, an immortal creature says, "That is how one survives eternity or even a few years. Friends, family, moving with them, moving forward." Moving forward means adding to our circles. Again, we outwit hatred by inviting in those who hate. Why? Because the person who hates me may be the same person who checks me out at Food Lion or changes the oil in my car. We live and work alongside people whose lives aren't all that different from our own. However different we seem, however much we disagree, we all struggle with relationships or terrible bosses, with challenging children and sick parents. We experience sorrows and joys, have hopes and dreams, and want the lives of those we love to be safe and happy. All of us are residents of the earth, dependent on its waters, lands, and animals to feed and nurture us. Natural disasters don't discriminate between political parties or citizenship status. Likewise, the sun shines on us all. We all live within the inescapable reality of our interconnected web. We simply cannot live without the millions of people whose work literally created our homes and everything in them. We will never know who they were or see their faces, but we depend on countless people every moment of our lives. The burden we place on others is mostly unseen. The furniture maker doesn't know she's making furniture for me specifically, any more than I know who put together my car on the assembly line. It doesn't change the fact of my dependence on them. Capitalism masks my dependence because I pay for the furniture and the car, so I can mostly ignore the ways I depend on others, most of the time. And it's the very ability to ignore our interdependence that necessitates we acknowledge it. Only by doing so will we bring more love, justice, and transformation to our country and our world. We close with words from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter from a Birmingham jail. He says, "In a real sense, all life is interrelated. All of us are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. And you can never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be. This is the interrelated structure of reality. May we all trust in life's interrelated structure and the endless ways we rely on each other and are relied upon. May we work each day to make our own circles a little bit bigger, that they might include a few more people tomorrow than they do today. May it be so. Amen and blessed be. Please rise in body or in spirit and join us for our hymn, Blue Boat Home. As we extinguish this flame, may we carry its smoke with us into the streets, into the places where holiness is hard to see, but always waiting to be noticed. Let us go with eyes open for wonder in the worn out, with reverence for each passerby, and with the knowing that the sacred does not hide from the world. It lives in it. Go now, not to escape the brokenness, but to journey beside it, and sometimes to bless it. Please join me in our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Go in peace, friends.
Yeah, Melissa spent the whole week with us. And that was, yeah, she enjoyed having her nearby.